On this day, the 3rd of February, 1399, the death of John of Gaunt, Duke of Lancaster. The third son of Edward III, John of Gaunt, Duke of Lancaster, was the richest man in England after the king. He was born in Ghent, and the name of that town was anglicised to Gaunt, the name he's been known as ever since. When his father died in 1377, John was the oldest surviving uncle of the new king Richard II. John was married first to Blanche of Lancaster, through whom he acquired the duchy. Their oldest son was Henry Bolingbroke, the future Henry IV, the first of the Lancastrian kings. After Blanche's death, John married Constance of Castile, and in her right claimed the title King of Castile and Leon, and travelled to Spain to try and enforce his claim. His campaign was unsuccessful, and eventually he dropped the matter. John remained in Aquitaine during problems in England between his nephew Richard II and the Lords Appellant, and on his return in 1390, Richard invested him as Duke of Aquitaine. John had been viewed with suspicion while Richard was a minor. His leading role in government had made him unpopular, as he became associated with policies like the poll tax that had led to the Peasants' Revolt, and with oppressive labour laws in the wake of the Black Death. He remained largely a disliked figure, but his efforts to make peace in the 1390s saw his reputation restored. In 1396, 2 years after Constance's death, John married Catherine Swynford, his mistress of more than 15 years. The couple had illegitimate children together, surnamed Beaufort. The children were legitimised in Parliament by Richard II, and never legally barred from taking the throne, as has long been claimed. The Beaufort family would dominate the 15th century as servants of their cousins, the Lancastrian kings, and the rise to power of that line was brought about by the death of John of Gaunt on this day in 1399. John died of natural causes at Leicester Castle, aged 58. His oldest son, Henry, was in exile after falling out with Thomas Mowbray, Duke of Norfolk, each accusing the other of treason against the king. Richard saw John's vast inheritance as a way to increase his own power and authority and took it into royal hands, effectively disinheriting his cousin Henry. Within months, Henry landed at Ravenspur in Yorkshire, while Richard was in Ireland, initially insisting that he had come only to secure his rightful inheritance. It quickly became clear that England had had enough of Richard's increasing tyranny and wanted a change. Henry was encouraged to go one step further, and when Richard returned, he was taken into custody and forced to abdicate in favour of his cousin, who became King Henry IV. An entire dynasty was forced into existence because of the death on this day in 1399 of John of Gaunt, Duke of Lancaster.